Story gist is, former head of the London Stock Exchange told young bankers to stop complaining about their long working hours and find another job if they don't like it. He basically said, hire young poor kids who put themselves through college instead of entitled graduates that emerge from college.
So last bit again, hire?
So hire kids that have put themselves through college, that are hardworking and from like a lower class background, and stop hiring these entitled grads that piss and moan.
Okay. So that was the headline.
That's basically the headline, and I just thought it was... I think part of it's right, to be fair, because I worked in banking, right? I know that they do stupid ass hours. Okay.
Give people a sense of what that means. So
stupid hours is doing, I don't know, 8 till 10 every day. That's standard. That's expected for 5 days a week minimum. Sometimes you work on weekends.
For how many weeks?
For pretty much all the weeks in the year.
Okay, but why that? Clearly, if I'm looking at you not as a doctor, as a human being, that's not sustainable. That's going to lead to burnout.
It's not sustainable, but you know
so
that that's
why
the industry you're
why
going
is it
into.
Acceptable? Yeah, but why has the industry become such that that's expected?
Because that's how it is. You've done like the industry, leave, honestly, and that's what it's getting to. I know banking that well. It chews you up and spits you out. So it's not great for your own social life. Essentially, you're going into the industry knowing that it's going to take all of your time, energy, social life.
Right.
Everything's gone. It's non-existent. And it's no surprise that all of these guys are now complaining about it. But it's been set up by those above you that have done the same thing. So naturally, they're going to say, well, I did it. Why can't you do it?
Oh, man, we get the same thing in medicine, right? We get consultants who are like, look, when I was a junior doctor, there was one of me. I covered the whole hospital. I worked 365 days a year. I didn't see my wife in 3 years.
I carried a nurse on my back.
Right, they come out with all this stuff. I did
squats in between sessions.
Right, yeah, right. But the problem is they carry this as some sort of badge of honor. I went through the shit, so you need to go through shit. Which is like, well, how can you want to and
it's like the layer cake, isn't it, Garen?
Look, life, guys, if you listen to this right now, go and watch Layer Cake, right? The last scene...
Daniel Craig
and the other guy, Gandalf, the second... Michael Gambel plays there's a guy in there, I think he plays Mr. Temple. Watch the film, obviously, but the last 5 minutes, the speech he makes is the explanation of life, right? I'm not going to put it on the podcast. I want you to go and watch it and drop it in the comments. But come back to that point. It's badge of honor. I went through this shit, so you should therefore go through this shit. It's like, listen, work hard, work smarter rather than harder. We have things in play now that make things a lot easier. For example, in our hospital, doctors communicate via WhatsApp. They didn't have that, but now it means that we can leverage, guys, I need this form, guys, what do you do with this type of patient? Guys, I need to contact this type of person. Bang, bang, bang. Put the message out, about 100 people in a WhatsApp group, response. If we kept it old school, it's like, okay, yeah, we shouldn't do that. We should just use books and not use Google. It's just silly, man. So in your industry, this is a question for you, when you got in, were you aware of this working pattern when you went into
but I wasn't front office. So there's 3 sides to banking. There's front office, middle office, back office. Front office is where you're meeting clients. Middle office is where you work closely with front office and you might potentially meet clients. And back office is where you just do all the dirty work, like data processing, spreadsheets, reconciliations, all of that stuff.
And you were...
So I worked in middle and back office. So I saw the guys in front office. I saw the email timestamps that came through of them working all times of day and night. So I
front guys.
Yeah, the front office guys were. So I was like, I know that that's the deal you make when you go into that world, and it's expected.
And all 3 of those offices are working crazy hours.
No, it's just front office that work the crazy hours. Now the guy from Goldman Sachs is saying young investment bankers. So I wasn't an investment banker. I was a back office analyst or middle office analyst. So I was sort of like, I had normal-ish hours. I'd still work till like 6:30, 7, but that's nothing compared to the guys in front office. It pales in comparison.
And are you, okay, here's my next question then. Is the remuneration for that, are you ballers? You're not ballers?
Middle office and back office aren't, no. It's
No, I'm talking about front end working till 10 p.m. When you come out, what are you earning?
So ballpark. I'm going to come to that now. This leads on to the next part of the story. Now, let me just finish this bit, which is it's silly to complain about this if you're a young investment banker, because you know the expectation of the job when you go into it. It would be like a doctor going in and moaning like, oh, I've got to see patients every day. It's essentially the same equivalent, because that you're going into it knowing that that's what it is. It's not sold to you like it's some dream and it's a pyramid scheme or any of that. It's simply, this is what it is. You know what, everything you see in the films is pretty much true.
Vima.
That's it. Done.
Vima.
Yeah, throw people against the wall, Wolf of Wall Street, that probably happens. But I'm saying the level of like commitment, work, drugs, etc., it happens. It's not fake. It's real. So if you make a deal with someone and you go into that situation, you know what to expect. Now, this year, Goldman Sachs, they're the biggest investment bank. They're increasing their pay for first-year investment banking analysts from 8 to 6K. Go on.
Yeah, pause there. You know when you say, again, just for the the listeners, when you say investment banker,
yeah,
or Goldman Sachs investment bank, what does that actually mean? What are they doing with capital?
So
if
investment
I've got a lot of money,
means...
I give you money. What do you do with it?
So investment banking is quite broad, I guess, because you can work in an investment bank but not be an investment banker. So you can be an account manager in an investment bank, which means you're dealing with clients.
What's an investment banker though?
Investment banker is basically a person who takes your money and invests it into certain different stock shares, assets, and stuff.
On your behalf, and then you get
on your behalf, and they take a cut, basically. Yeah.
Right. So Goldman Sachs, for example, are just basically
they're the biggest
kilometer of they've got so much capital from lots of different resources, and they basically trade that on everyone's behalf.
Yeah, and they invest it into different areas. Like they'll invest it into tech, they'll invest it into back office, they'll invest it into
crypto.
Crypto. Yeah,
Crypto?
You know what? They probably do, mate. They probably do.
Hanoch, man. Speak to Hanoch, man. He's saying that these. I think he works in a similar.
Do you want to tell
industry.
people who Hanoch is?
So Hanoch is one of our friends, guys. He's been on the podcast with Harpal, the Bhangra episode, and he works in London, but is often in Chicago and other places like Zurich, so banking capitals of the world. And I think the last time I saw him, he was telling me about his firm, who have quite a significant arm in crypto.
Yeah.
Fine. So coming back to that. So you're about to tell me. So the entry, and this is a graduate entry job.
Yeah. So Goldman Sachs this year are increasing their pay for first year investment banking analysts from $86K, so $86,000 to $110,000.
No, so you're a 21-year-old coming out.
21 years old,
and you're making 100K.
110K.
It's in dollars. So pounds, that would be what?
So let me just do a quick conversion.
Do the
USD to GBP. Yeah. 110. That's 80K.
80K is 21-year-old.
You're on an 80K job as a 21-year-old. Shut the fuck up. Stop complaining. That's it.
Do you know how much,
you can't complain.
Do you know what doctors make? First year doctor, 23 years old?
Less than 30.
Yeah. Good man. Yeah, it's about 24, 26, something like that.
So now you understand my point of view is saying stop fucking complaining. Because
so your point is actually you're being you know what to expect. You're making this deal with the devil, right?
Yeah.
But you're exchanging
exactly.
All right, you're exchanging all of your time for money.
Yeah.
That's it. Which is, I talked about this before on the podcast that, a job. What is a job? A job is the exchange of time for money. Mm-hmm. Investing is when you learn how to not exchange your time for money.
Yeah.
Right? So when the money's rolling in, you're not actively having to do something with your time. But okay, so let's just say this. So you said 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. What's that in hours? It's 10 hours a day, yeah?
So I'll come to the hours breakdown in a sec, yeah?
All right. Okay.
So what's happened is Goldman Sachs has said they're going to boost that up. That's without bonuses, FYI. Sometimes bonuses can go as high as 50K a year, depending on the performance of how well the bank's done.
So we could be well in excess of 100K.
So you could be doing very, very well, right?
But no
bonuses aren't as big as they used to be, but that's an arbitrary figure that I've just pulled out for argument's sake.
Okay.
I don't actually know how much they all clear, but it's all weird. So, fine. After the second year, your basic pay for the same level of analyst, if you make it to the second year, you get paid $125K. So $125,000 a year.
Second, 22 years old.
Yeah, 22 years old. That much.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so you're doing a lot. Now that's a lot to be making as soon as you get out of college or uni. The average for students coming out of college is about $44,000 a year in America. So they're going to be making nearly triple what others make for this much amount of work. I don't know. I mean, it levels out. It's not like you're doing slave labor. It's not.
Yeah.
I get that you want more of a balance. But what they're essentially saying is we work 95 hours a week. They said
90, how many?
95 hours a week.
Bloody hell.
right? And now they're saying, well, let's cut that back to 80 and call it there. So I did some quick maths. I've got the breaks here. So if you work 95 hours a week, that's 19 hours a day for weekdays, or 13 and a half hours a day every day, including weekends. So the bankers want it capped to 80 hours a week, which is reasonable, I guess. That comes to 16 hours a day normally on normal days. And if you go to the weekend, I think it's a bit less. No, it is a bit less. Let me just do a quick calculation. 80 divided by 7. Yeah, that's 11 and a half hours. Depends on how you want to slice it.
That's... Well, you know, today or yesterday, I think I was looking at my timesheet, right? So I'm contracting at the moment. I submitted my timesheet for last week. Bearing in mind, last week I had a 3-day working week because I was on holiday with you from Friday, and Monday I have off because I'm doing business admin stuff.
Yeah.
3-day week, 26 hours, total week. That's all I worked last week.
See?
Yeah, like, so when I hear those numbers, the scary ass numbers, I'm like, nope. I mean, normally I do 4 hours, 4 hours a week.
It doesn't appeal to me.
Days a
Basically.
week.
It doesn't appeal to me either. No.
Man, like,
No. Why would you waste the prime of your lifetime, your 20s, sitting in a fucking office?
Yeah, look, unless you have some sort of game plan, which is like, okay, amass wealth, right? Amass wealth until age 26, so 5 years be in, make $500,000 or close to $1 million or something, and then start investing it, and then basically retire. Fine, if you've got a game plan, fine, but unless you do have that, you're gonna burn out, man. Like, there is no way. Like I think you said earlier, something about drinking, drugs. So these habits probably form as a way to cope.
Bro, all those things, bankers
right?
go on binges on Fridays. I mean, they finish work on a Friday for argument's sake. No, not even for argument's sake. They do. They finish work at 5 on a Friday. So if you ever go into like a heavy investment banking area, they're all getting lashed out of their face. Right. And that continues until the next morning. I'm talking like 5, 6 a.m. And within that time, you do drugs, you go to strip clubs, you go to everything, and you go wild. And then you're expected to work maybe the Sunday to make up for it. That's normal. That's normal culture in banking.
So there's a law. Newton, the physicist, had 3 laws, yeah?
Yeah.
His 3rd law. Every reaction has an equal and opposite reaction. Mm-hmm. There is no way you can expend so much energy in a week, right, without not going crazy and then doing all this other stuff to balance out. So I get it, man. Like, you've got to do something, and if your window is like this much to get all of it in, then bang, you're just gonna bloody think you're in Vegas like every Friday, man.
Honestly,
yeah. That's wow. Okay, and when you said like, so I presume there wasn't like any protests or anything. It was just, where was this murmuring coming from? A few people?
So
a lot of people?
This came out earlier in the year when what was it? Goldman Sachs were basically saying they wanted people to come back into the office. Do you remember?
Yes.
And they were saying those workers. What were they saying? The low-level investment bankers were saying, my work-life balance is fucked ever since I've been at home. It's worse because we're even more available than ever. People just like we are at home, just carry on working.
Yeah. 24/7.
So I respect that. Yeah, maybe there does have to be some kind of limit in there. But either way, deal with the devil. They can change the rules when they want. You got to keep dancing.
Which is what? Walk away, yeah?
So now all of them are saying, we'll just walk away. And I'm thinking, you can walk away and they'll get some other dipshit that will come in and do it for you. What's the difference?
The difference is they're not doing it others, so they don't really care about the new people coming in.
Yeah, but so with the amount of money offered, that vacancy will always be filled. It's never going to be empty. If you're the biggest investment bank in the world, you're always going to have people waiting, queuing up in droves to come and take that job.
Because you have to remember, if somebody hasn't come from comfort and wealth, right?
Yeah.
Then they're going to take it up. But again, I understand his point kind of more. But if you're somebody from a bit of privilege, it's like, I don't need this. I don't need this, right?
Yeah.
I'll be happy I'll make less but live more. Fine. But if you don't have the option, then you're going to do it. And maybe it's for you. Maybe you become ruthless, and maybe you don't have a normal life, let's say, and maybe you become the CEO because you're like that. There are certain people who are that way inclined.
Yeah,
so I have certain friends who much older than us, Indy, and from a business point of view, they're very astute. But then I look at other aspects of it. I'm like, is it because you have so much time because you don't have a partner, because you don't have any kids, you don't have any other responsibility, that all of your time is going into this one pursuit, which is okay, but I'm not prepared to siphon off everything else in the singular pursuit of something.
of one thing as well. Like if that company goes under, like Lehman Brothers, then what?
Oh,
I'm not saying it ever will go down like Lehman Brothers did, but I'm sure all those investment bankers who used to work there were thinking the same, which is this will never go under. It's fine. We'll just keep working. They put all their life into it, and then the next day they have nothing.
There's a film about this. You know, a couple of podcasts ago, I told you my friend who regularly listens to Raghav. He, I was on a call with him the other day.
What, The Big Short?
No, it's like that. It's called Margin Call. It's Kevin Spacey.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but yeah, maybe you should watch it as well. It's about Lehman Brothers and what happened. That'd be good to watch.
Yeah.
What was the thing I was going to say to you? What were you just talking about?
First year grad, someone stepping up, some dipshit's going to take it.
No, that was
don't
it.
need it.
So in the period where I wasn't working as a doctor and I had this other job, right? It was for the Department of Works and Pensions, DWP, which is obviously from central governments. They deal with people who have disabilities and the payments for that, right?
Yeah.
They then have subcontracted to another company who I used to work for, a company that I used to work for that actually did these assessments. Anyway, I left the job because it was a terrible, terrible job. And just recently, I don't know why, but I just Googled the stuff about them, and there were so many doctors coming out, speaking out about how inhumane this company was.
Yeah.
Right? And again, see, when I applied to it, because at that point I wanted to change, I didn't really want to do medicine, and I went on Indeed, as you do. Job. It was something like 7.5 hours a day, 5 days a week, weekends and nights, no long days. So very different to what you do as doctor.
Yeah.
78K. I was like, okay, that's fine. Because I can do my other stuff. My plan was to do this, right? And just therefore have the rest of my time to work on my business.
Yeah.
But it kind of just took over my whole life. And it was like really silly things.
Nothing's ever as advertised as what you think it is. When it's offering that much money, it's too good to be true, man.
Right, exactly. So you get into it and you do it and you start seeing these signs, be like, it's okay, it's new, isn't it? It's new, so it'll get better. That's the premise.
Yeah, bro.
And
everyone falls for it because you're thinking, I got probation to pass. I don't want to lose my job.
Right.
And you just look through those rose tints as hard as you can.
Yeah, and we did that. And the thing is, when you come through, especially as a doctor, you're like, mate, I've been through some tough shit, man. I'm top 1% of the country. I can do this. I can do this. That's the mindset you have, right? And basically, when you see somebody and you do what you call a disability analysis or a functional assessor. That was the name of your title, right? And you assess somebody to see what level of disability they should be on, and therefore the amount of payment. The money side wasn't what we were doing. We were looking from the medical point of view, like basically, are you chatting shit or is this real? Basically, right? And then you produce this report, and the report had to be done like really to the letter, and each report is audited. 100% of your work is audited, and you have this grading system.
Wow.
And it's like ABC, right? And you have to get a certain number of grades and da 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 da. And
sounds like school.
Mate, put it this way: when I decided to resign, of the original 8 doctors who trained together in that kind of batch, 6 of us left on the same day. 6 out of it. Same day. This was the week before. I think it was the week before No, it was the day before we watched that play together, you and me.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. That was like March last year. Very early March last year. Yep.
So 6 of us walked out the same day. And it kind of, because when we were there, we weren't talking to each other about our experience. But we realized afterwards that we were all feeling kind of this inadequacy, right? We were like, we're not good at this, whatever. And then we realized afterwards that it's just a horrible work environment where the management just does not give a shit about anything apart from numbers. You need to see this many number of people. This needs to be like this. No respect. Nothing about creativity, right? It's not like, even if you get the right answer, it's not about getting the right answer. You have to get the right answer, and it has to be like this, and this every single time. You have to see this many number of people.
Yeah.
When you're from a healthcare background and you want to help people, it's not even about helping people.
There's psychologists that I know that are doing stuff like that, where they have to see a set number of patients every hour in the day. Yeah. Not even every hour, just a number of patients in a day, and you're expected to be pedal to the metal all day. And it's like, when do you get a chance to break and do your patient assessments and do your notes? Like, you're expected to do it in your spare time. So it's silly, and I don't like how a lot of companies do that. They sort of do that fake. Yeah, this is what it is. It's great work-life balance. We're really big on mental health. You come in, you're like, you fucking lied to me. Right?
Absolutely, man. And that's funny what you said earlier, which was about. I remember in the mandatory training, there's a module on mental resilience.
Oh bollocks! Here we go. Yeah.
Right. So I was like, and look, I'm a mindset coach, right? So I was like, yeah. This is some good stuff, right? But you're right. It's like these are the company's values. This is what they say, and then you come and do it, and it's like, mate, you just value like money, capital. And on the exit interview, the manager was like, 50% of doctors don't make it 3 months. They don't advertise that in front of
now
them.
you fucking know why. Like
Yeah, and I was like, no shit, man. So
idiots, man.
It's a
You
toxic
got out,
work
you got out
environment.
lucky. It's a toxic work environment, and I think I'm not saying the Goldman Sachs is toxic. They're clearly not, because they make a killing, right? How they do it is up to them. And I think if one thing that everyone have learned is that it shows that they're not exactly high on mental health stuff anyway, because they wanted everyone back in the office, like I said, like ASAP, as soon as stuff was opening up. So they wanted people back in the office the 14th of July, and they wanted the UK workers back the 21st of July. They wanted them all in the office fully. There is no working at home ever again.
For Goldman Sachs.
For Goldman Sachs. So it kind of shows that that's the kind of company style that they have. They're very old school. They don't want to change things. Fine.
So they want control, man, because surely what's going forward is going to be that yes, there'll be office time, but a lot of work can be done at home. We've seen that now.
I mean, maybe that's going to work out better for them, because look at those guys that were saying we're working too much at home. Well, now you have the capacity to work at home. You can just you can finish the work at home if you want. Just go home and do it. Or if you're at home, just fire up your laptop. I need to get you to do something at like 10:30 at night. See?
Yeah, too much. There's no control.
That's what it is, man. That's what it is. That's banking in a nutshell.
Well, that's the proverbial of rat race or hamster in the wheel. That's actually what it looks like.
Yep, that's exactly what it looks like. Or that guy in that picture where he's got that stick in front of him. Sorry, he's got the dollar bill in front of him. He's got the stick hanging over his back. He's walking towards it the whole time, and then he's going off a cliff without realising it. Or he's going into his grave without realising it. So yeah. It's mad. Absolutely mad.
Pretty apt point there, yeah.
Final point there, which is then they're not going to be listened to. I can tell you now. If you're so far beneath those who are frankly at the top of the hierarchy, they're not going to give a shit. It's fine. They'll just fill you with someone else.
Because there will be someone else, yeah. It's same for doctors, man.
Yep.
We have mental health problems. You're a commodity. And somebody explained to me, there's actually another senior doctor, he said, look, in a business, let's think about medicine as a business, right? Who are the clients in medicine? Who are the leads?
Patients.
Yep. Right. Does a doctor have to generate their own leads?
No.
So there is no advantage to keeping you fit and healthy.
Yeah.
The leads are coming in either way. People are sick, they'll come to hospital.
That's true. That's very true.
Right.
Yeah.
So he explained this to me, and I was like, bloody hell. And he was like, so from the government point of view or organ management point of view, it's like get the most amount of work from the cheapest workforce.
Yeah.
That's it. Period. Right. So as someone like me who's a contractor, the game is all about adding value to a system, networking, really infiltrating, getting in. So you do become indispensable because they're always looking at, can I hire a foreign doctor? Can I get a pharmacist who can upskill to kind of be like a doctor? Can we do something here? Can we make this a nurse practitioner? Like all these roles are important. I'm not belittling any of these other roles. PAs obviously about Indy.
PAs are not personal assistants. They're physician associates.
They're physician
associates. Make that very clear to people.
It's a new role in the UK. Okay, it's a new role. My medical company specialises in running courses for them. So if you're a PA listening to this, I doubt you are, but if you are, reach out to us with the Medics team.
Tell people what PAs are.
PAs are physician associates, which is a role which is originally following the Vietnam War in America. That's where it developed. So from the 60s in America, very well established here. And probably in the UK, probably about 10 years. Essentially, it's somebody who's done a life science degree, so undergraduate degree, say in biomedical science. And then they do a 2-year postgraduate degree to become a physician associate. So they work in a capacity which is similar to a doctor, but sort of minus a few things like prescribing rights at the moment, which are coming, and ordering certain tests such as CT scans and X-rays. They don't work night shifts at the moment, but the role's evolving. It's a good role. What they have is they have a lot more consistency, whereas doctors, we rotate a lot more into certain specialties and we subspecialize. A lot of these guys essentially will stick with one specialty and then they get developed, so they can learn a skill, like a super niche skill, which is good for that department, and good obviously for patients' continuity of care. So they're trying to blend the mix of doctors and PAs, physician associates.
There we go.
There we go.